Hey Edgewood community, this video is hopefully going to show you how to take care of Sven, our little robotic pool cleaner. Of course, there are going to be two different videos. One is kind of how to set him up and put him in the water. That's more for facilities. And then the other video is more for lifeguards and also for facilities, I guess, how to get Sven safely out of the pool in order to get us ready to actually have some swimming bodies in here. So one of the first things you'll notice is that Sven sometimes stops in not terribly convenient spots. One of the things you want to always keep in mind when you're removing him from the pool is obviously you want to unplug the power supply. That's probably the most important thing. So it's the first thing that I'm going to show you. I should mention that he really does stop at different points in the pool. Sometimes his filters get clogged and will automatically stop wherever he is. Other times he's going to complete his full cycle, and usually he ends up in the shallow end somewhere towards the middle, kind of over in this direction. A little bit easier to get there to get him out of the water, but let me show you how to do this whole process safely. Okay, so as I said, he's not in a super convenient spot over there. But what we're going to do before we do anything else is to follow this blue power cord over to this little caddy. This little caddy is for Sven, and when you look at this caddy, you'll notice that attached to the very bottom here is the power supply. This button shows you that the reason that he stopped was because he's got full filters, and so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off Sven by hitting that button right there. So everything should power off. The very next thing we're going to do is we're going to unplug it from the wall. Obviously, you don't want anybody to take Sven out when he is plugged in. There's a pretty small risk, but still a risk of any kind of electrical shock. Obviously, all this cord is insulated, but just to be absolutely safe, I make sure that that thing is completely unplugged. So when Sven stops at a really kind of awkward place, one of the things you'll want to keep in mind is you really want to minimize any kind of pulling that you have to do on this cord. Really, you're supposed to not pull on the cord if at all possible. If Sven is done his complete cycle, he usually rises to the surface, in which case you just grab the little handle that's down there and pull him out of the water nice and gently. Of course, here we don't have that option. Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a tool of any kind here, something that's long enough that I can kind of grab the cable. I'm going to drag the cable over to me. And what I'm going to very carefully do is I'm going to slowly and carefully raise Sven up until I can grab the handle. And then this is what I'm going to use to actually pull him out of the water. He is heavy, so just be aware of that. And I'm going to place him right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put him on the caddy. One thing I did forget to mention is that in order to use this caddy, it's usually a good idea to first disconnect the blue cord. And this should come out nice and easily. We want to keep that away from the water as much as we can. Once you've removed that blue cable, it's a good idea just to keep water out of this thing. By the way, this thing is splash resistant, but you never want to submerge it in the water. So I try to minimize the amount of water that gets to it by putting on that cap. The other thing which we're going to do over here is we're going to make sure that this cord kind of stays out of our way. And usually I just take this thing and wrap it a few times. And now we're ready with the caddy, and we're going to use him to move Sven around. So we're going to bring the caddy over here. Get a few things out of our way so we don't trip on them. And then pretty simply, we're going to be real careful here that we don't fall in the pool and we don't drop Sven. And we put him on the caddy. And we're simply going to carefully roll him. So as I said, I like to be nice and gentle. I don't want to really yard on this cable here. Usually I like to take it out of the pool first, and that'll just kind of help me to keep it out of the water as I start to roll it up over here. And there he is, all ready to be put back. And I'll show you where to put this in the pool house. And so I wheeled the cart over in kind of the corner here. Probably the best place, just to kind of keep it out of the way. Hope you enjoyed.